What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to share with you how to start with why. We're going to talk about the golden circle made famous by Simon Sinek's 2009 TED Talk. It has over 50 million views. I'll be linking it in the description below. But a quick summary of what the TED Talk is. He talks about the golden circle being three circles, one inside the other, starting with why at the center. Then you have how in between, and then what on the outside. Every company knows what they do, but they don't know why they do it. And in this video, we're going to talk about why it's so important to understand why you do what you do. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Ksebati, co-founder and CEO of MySwimPro. And we've built a globally distributed technology company that spans across 10 different time zones. In this series, I help entrepreneurs take their business to the next level. If you have an idea for starting your own company, I'm going to share with you the tips and tricks and the right entrepreneurial mindset to take those first steps. If that sounds interesting, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and of course, give the video a big like, would really appreciate it. Let's get back to talking about the golden circle. Now, we talk about why being at the center, but let's take a step back and talk about the what. Everyone knows what they do. In Simon Sinek's talk, he really explains how in Apple, for instance, they talk about building computers. Everyone knows that Apple builds computers or iPhones, iPods, whatever it is that they do. How do they do it? Well, they have these incredible offices that you can go into. Not offices, they have incredible retail locations, they have a website, e-commerce, and maybe you're thinking to yourself, I know what I do at my business. I have a restaurant, or I have an app, or I have whatever it is that you have, and you know how you transact. That is the core value proposition that you deliver. So maybe you are differentiated because your products or your laptop operates faster or it has a better battery life. These are different features, and everyone who's in business or has started a company, they know what they do and how they do it. But the fundamental question is, why do you do what you do? And Simon Sinek lays out 4 key principles that you need to really focus on. He talks about how inspired leaders and organizations start from the inside out. So rather than thinking about what it is that you do, understand why you're passionate about solving this problem. Yes, you have identified a problem in the market and you've built a solution, but why are you solving that specific problem? And that's how you communicate your message, and that's how you make strategic decisions. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. The why is so incredible. The goal is to do business with people who believe in what you believe. Hire people who believe in what you believe. So not only the way you conduct business, but the way you hire people, it centers around this why. I'll share with you how we do this at MySwimPro, and maybe it'll give some context. So at MySwimPro, what we do is pretty obvious. We create mobile and wearable apps that help people improve their performance and health. We've got the MySwimPro app. It's for swimmers. It helps swimmers get faster at swimming, get stronger, improve their health and fitness. That's great. How do we do it? Well, we provide structured training programs, workouts, instructional technique content. We have a lot of media content, these videos, and of course, analytics to track your progress, share, compare, and compete with friends. So what we do and how we do it is pretty obvious. But we really focus on the why it is that we do that. Because we believe that through the intersection of technology and swimming, that we can empower our community members to lead happier and healthier lives. And we also believe that it is our responsibility to help members reach their gold medal moments. We believe everyone is just one day away from achieving their gold medal moment, and we have a responsibility. It is our duty to empower these people because we have recognized that there's such an incredible opportunity at the intersection of swimming and technology. So yes, we create apps that help people improve their performance and health. And of course, we do this through the training programs, but the way that we conduct business and the way we communicate this message and the way we make strategic decisions is centered in the why. Here's a few other questions that you should ask yourself. What is your purpose? You should write an answer to these down. What is your cause? What is your belief? You should know intuitively why it is that you do what you do. Why does your company exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning or on a day-to-day basis? Why are you motivated? Now, this isn't a great life question, but it's really understanding, why do you do what you do? Why should anyone care what you do? Why does it really matter? Now, this isn't the meaning of life, but you should really take a step back and understand, because when you can fundamentally and articulate this message out, it makes all of your decision-making so much easier. Not only that, you'll be much more successful at penetrating the law of diffusion of innovation, which we'll talk about in just a second. And I want to know what your why is. So let me know in the comments, what is your why? What is your why for life? What is your why for your business? And it's really important that you understand why you do what you do for your business. Now, this isn't just some fluffy information that Simon Sinek was throwing in his TED Talk back in 2009. It actually is centered in biology. As he says, biology, not psychology. If you think about the cross-section of the human brain, at the center, you don't see a big why. However, at the center, you have the limbic brain. This is where the feelings are, trust, loyalty. There's no language barrier here. And this is where you get your gut feeling. If you think about why people transact, they make a lot of irrational decisions. Sometimes there might be better value propositions out there. There might be flashier messaging. But people will not transact with that product at scale in the long run and build that relationship with a brand, because ultimately when it comes down to the why, it comes down to your gut feeling. So you have to be able to communicate that why. And remember, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. On the outermost part, you have the neocortex. That is the what? That is the analytical, that is the rational part of the brain, and that is where language comes in. So if you have a marketing message and someone reads it, they're transacting with you on that neocortex level. But when you go deeper and you get into the limbic brain, that is where the feelings are. That's where trust is, loyalty. And fundamentally, you want loyal customers. It doesn't really make any sense to attract a certain customer that's never going to buy with you and they're not going to be happy with your product. They're not going to be happy that they transacted with you because there was a disconnect at the core fundamental why. Now, here's why this is super important for scaling your business. It's not only critical to understand why you do what you do, and remember, let me know in the comments why you do what you do, because if you can't do that, then you're not going to be able to communicate, you're not going to make good business decisions, you're not going to hire the right people, but you're also not going to be able to scale your company. And here's the law of diffusion of innovation. If you're not familiar with it, it's a big curve. We know all about flattening the curve, right? But in the beginning of the curve, you have the innovators. Now, this is the first 2.5% of the market. So if you launch a new product into market, there's going to be some segment of people that are going to adopt, they're going to transact in some way, shape, or form. It's a very small percentage of people. These people are high risk takers. They act on their gut feelings much faster than other people. Then you have the early adopters, very similar to the innovators. They need a little bit of a push, but they're going to make a decision before the early majority and the late majority. Each of those are at 34% market share respectively. And of course, at the end of the diffusion of innovation, you have the laggards. This is 16% of the population that takes forever to upgrade to a smartphone. They may have the money, they may be willing and able to purchase something, but they're not going to do it until a vast majority of people do it, and they have de-risked any potential catastrophe, if you will, catastrophe, and they will buy the product. So this group is normally ignored in the startup world. However, if you're only focusing on the early innovators and you're not able to connect and communicate on that deeper why level, then you're going to be stuck at some level of market share in the innovators and the early adopters. These people are willing to take that risk because their gut feeling, they're just going to make a decision on anything. These are the people who wait 6 hours in line to get the new iPhone. These people are willing to put themselves out there and prove that they believe in what the company believes. But if you're not able to articulate that message, then you're going to be stuck at some point here, and you're never able to push into the vast majority, that early majority and that late majority. And if you want to scale your business, you fundamentally need to acquire as much market share as possible, and you're going to be unable to do that unless you can communicate with the right people, the right innovators, and communicate with them so clearly that then your message can transcend and move into the early majority and the late majority and eventually the laggards. If you only communicate and you only make decisions based on the what you do and how you do it, you're going to miss out on a vast amount of market opportunity. That's why it's so critical to really understand your why. Remember, this comes down to human biology. At the center, at the core of everything, in that limbic brain, it comes down to the feelings, the trust, that communicative message that you can create with someone. When you can build that bond, they are much more likely, the consumer, to transact with you. And transact could mean anything. You could be running in politics and they're going to vote for you. You might be selling a product. You might want someone to sign up for something. You might be a coach and you're coaching an athlete. And you have to build that trust, because if the coach and the athlete are on the same belief system, if they believe what they believe, if they understand their why, if they have the same passion and the same focus and the same energy, whether it's a coach-athlete relationship or a business owner-client relationship, doesn't really matter. This is biology, how we communicate with each other and how we make decisions. We are not rational in our decision-making process. That's what we see on the outside. That is the language skills. That's why when you see marketing messages that are in photo or video, you can communicate across language, across culture, because at its core, at the core of the circle, the why is what matters, and that is how you communicate. Again, check out the TED Talk given by Simon Sinek back in 2009, over 50 million views. It's very inspirational. He talks about all of these concepts. I hope sharing a little bit about MySwimPro and how we think about the what, how, and why was helpful for you guys. If you notice, I'm wearing my TEDx shirt. I gave a TEDx talk inspired by the TED Talk by Simon Sinek. Different topic, but certainly inspirational. I'll leave that link in the description. I talk about how I took my idea for MySwimPro and turned it into App of the Year by Apple. Another video of mine that I want to share with you guys is how I took my idea and turned it into a company in 54 hours at Detroit Startup Weekend. That'll also be linked in the description. One more shout out in the comments. Let me know, what is your why? I hope you found this video helpful. If you think it did, make sure you give it a big like, and of course, subscribe to the channel for more entrepreneurial tips and tricks. As always, stay safe, stay hustling.